It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints, and it comes your way next.
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. Alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and as we look at this matchup, every time there's something different to focus on. So I'll just ask you, what do you see here in this one?
Well, Rembrandt, you've given me a pretty blank canvas to focus on, haven't you? Yeah. Where do you think I'm going to go with this?
Oh, secondary?
You know me well, right? In a game like this, it's always about the secondary. Can they handle the passing attack and make a few plays?
The kicker, Graham Gano, set to put his foot into this one. And we are underway from the Superdome. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback, the young man out of Louisville.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. It's hauled in by Brandon, and right away, he lost the football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A solid job using his legs. 16 yards and a first down on the keeper. That may be a sneak peek on this opening drive of what this young rookie can showcase, his legs.
And normally, as you start a game, you're just thinking, can he get the snap? Can he hand off? Can he just execute? Instead, he doesn't waste any time on wrapping another dimension to his game, showing off those wheels, and picking up some nice yardage.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's second down at 7. Looking to throw. Gets this complete to Shaheed. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that's going to make it third down and less than a yard. He'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. They'll set up a throw. Out to the left. That's where the tight end Moreau is. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 16. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4-4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
Olave over the middle. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he'll find Moreau here. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Chris Olave, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. CD, that call, it took some guts. It's not like they were at the 1-yard line. They had some distance to go.
They certainly did, and, you know, a lot of people might say that's fly by the seat of your pants type of coaching, but it's also sending a message out there. We're going to be unpredictable. You can't prepare for anything with us. You never know which way we're going to go. We zig, you zag.
And now some serious opening drive momentum. Blake Groupie now for the extra point. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it was Chris Olave who finished things off with a touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
They'll start with a run by Tracy. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. There's a short one caught by Johnson. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, you know, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, you know, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
And that will be incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On fourth down, Jamie Gillen on the punt for the Giants. Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed. Taken from just outside the 30. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5, and the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD, and you get the feeling if they could score here, they'd really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they of one mind that, hey, what worked last time, let's keep doing it until they stop us? Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their first drive.
And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. Here's a 2nd and 5. As they've got it as we resume action. Second down, and it's Kamara again. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. That is caught. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. First down.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Back to throw here. Catch made, it's Moreau. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he could break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. From the 29, here's a 2nd and 4. Trying the left side with Kamara. So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
They're going to look to throw. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Again, he'll drop to throw. And Cooks has it over the middle. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
Well, don't tell any defensive coordinator I played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot if that's what they want to do.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's going to be batted down, and will go the other way with the football. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires, and the Giants are going to get the football back. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
4 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. Now Wilson. This is caught by Robinson.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. From the shotgun, Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. In motion, Slayton. They go play action with Wilson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Give them 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. To throw again is Wilson. This one hauled in, and again it's Robinson. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd down and 4. Motioning to the left is Robinson. Straight ahead, here's Tracy. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Boy, you know, some plays you can just sort of tell they're not going to work from the start, and that was one of them right there.
Yeah, I mean, he had every option taken away, and so all that was left for him to do was to try and keep it himself, but even he knew that he had nowhere to go.
This would have been a 54-yard boot had they tried a field goal, but they will not try a field goal. They're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And the Saints are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line.
Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
He lets it go deep for Olave.
This is caught at the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown.
Chris Olave with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Groupie for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
And that's not a play that you see all that often at the start of a drive, but some teams, they don't mind doing it. And that one, well sold by the offensive lineman. They showed the pass, and then they got out into space, able to get some good blocks downfield and allow the play to be successful.
There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson.
With just a gain of a couple there. And that will bring up second down.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Second down and 8. There's Wilson to throw. Again, it's Johnson. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
And his throw is going to be incomplete. Fair to say, it hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Throwing again here, Wilson. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Throwing is Wilson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 23. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Wilson. Able to shake him off. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
getting the sack. They'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And that nearly intercepted. Well, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. And instead, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're saying.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Gano's kick is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3.
So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point of drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Saints offense and Chris Olave getting set to take over once more. And it may be time for this defense to start throwing a second defender his way, because whatever they've done, it has not worked in this first half.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. He'll find Shaheed out to the right.
And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
Ready for the second half. 14-3 our score as we are back underway on EA Sports.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter.
And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Now it's Wilson.
A short throw pulled in by Bellinger.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
On the give, it's Tracy.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Tracy going to get it on first down.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
Now a 2nd and 6.
To throw is Wilson.
A short throw pulled in by Bellinger. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
They'll hand it to Tracy. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They'll go again with Tracy.
And good running, going to get this down close to a first at the Saints 36. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass.
Here's Tracy.
He'll get it to the 23-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on first down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown.
Darius Slayton.
23 yards for the touchdown.
And the Giants are back within a score.
And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Brian Dable dialing up a play call here as they will go for 2.
The Giants will line up for the
Wilson going to throw for it. And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good. Tough there, good pass, hit the hands, he just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere, seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Saints offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. But, Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10.
He'll drop to throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
37 yards on the punt with no return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The New York set to take the field.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Wilson.
Open man, that's Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Right back to Tracy.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It's only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Tracy trying the right side. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go. He really hasn't been able to get on track running the football, averaging less than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, I think that they're going to enjoy the film session because all the defenders are filling their proper gaps on just about every play. And you know what they always say for a defensive coach, when I click off this film, I better see 11 jerseys in the picture going after the ball carrier.
Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. Now Wilson. This one is Slayton over the middle.
And he will have a Giants first down as he'll be marked down a yard or two past the marker following a gain of 6.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now for getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Now a 2nd and 10. On the run is Tracy.
Able to slither by. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
50 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
They go play action now. Wilson.
There's a short one caught by Johnson.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Running left is Tracy.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
3rd down, here's Tracy.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. So out on the field now, Graham Gano in a big spot. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. Gano's kick is good, and that will cut the lead down to just 2. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
They'll come out throwing here on first down.
It gets this complete to Shaheed.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. 2nd and 6. They'll set up the screen down to Kamara. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The Saints passing game in sync and moving the football. It's a 1st down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession. So they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Back to throw. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to at least make it a 5-point cushion. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will push the lead up to 5.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
So after the field goal, back out his groupie to send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
So Russell Wilson in the offense. Down by 5. 1:45 to play. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. Throwing now is Wilson.
Connects with Slayton.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Not in a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
They come up now on 2nd and 2.
Here's Wilson.
Once again, he finds Slayton.
Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down.
Now Wilson. That's caught by Johnson. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Very sharp here to start this drive, 3 for 3.
Yeah, I like the way he's running this 2-minute drill. Very sharp, very precise in throwing the football.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Wilson to throw. Flushed out right. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Back to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as he'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. Now 1st and goal. They'll look to throw. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
With no timeouts left, that's a dangerous proposition working the middle of the field. Fortunately for them, that one fell incomplete.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Back to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Got to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
He's back to throw. Well, a tough throw there across his body. It's incomplete. Defensively now, one more play to stop. What are they looking for?
You want to take away their #1 running option that you scouted and take away their #1 receiver and see if someone else can beat you.
One last shot for Wilson. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages. Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
Gano the extra point, and the lead is now 2. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll start things out at the 25. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from the Bayou.